Welcome to the Jewels of the Trade Turquoise Live Sale. All of these items are discounted for the show, and I'll be offering free shipping until midnight Pacific time. You can purchase these items by scanning the QR code on screen or by visiting jotblog.com. I do have some quick announcements. The videos of the Monterey Bay Jade Festival and the International Jade Summit have dropped. I also wanted to tell you guys that the Denver Gem Shows will be from September 4th through 14th. And this is a whole bunch of gem shows, kind of like Tucson, but on a smaller scale. But I'm very excited to announce that there definitely will be jade sellers there. I've done videos at the two previous Denver Gem Shows and shown some of the jade sellers that are there. And I also have a list in the Discord if you want to check that out. The link is below. The JOTT blog is more than just a blog now. I actually have live products for sale. It's getting a makeover soon, but hey, it works. As always, if you're shopping for jade, you can find it at mkjadejewelry.com because Mason K is the most trusted supplier of truly natural jadeite jade in the USA. And if you purchase from Mason K, be sure to use the discount code JOTT, which saves you 10% and goes a long way toward helping the channel. So, who all is here? I hope you'll say hi in the chat. Let me know if there are any technical difficulties, if there's any issues with the audio. It has been a few weeks since I've gone live, so I just want to make sure that everything is going smoothly. Let me know in the chat if something seems a little off. I do have like a little notification on my screen that says my Wi-Fi connection isn't good, and I don't really think that's true, but I figure if it's not great, you guys will definitely tell me. So take a look at this little piece of stabilized turquoise rough. This is a part of my personal collection. I actually picked this up when I was in Tucson this year. And one of the reasons I really love it is because I didn't know before that a lot of turquoise is stabilized before it's cut. So it's not uncommon for it to be stabilized in the rough and then cut afterward. So it's not for sale, but I definitely wanted to share it because it's such a cool piece. Our first trivia question is turquoise is a secondary mineral of what? This stone here can be purchased on the JOTT blog via the first link in the video description or by scanning the QR code on screen. This stone is on sale for $216 and has a wicked cool black matrix. It's 14 by 11 millimeters and hails from Egypt. And it even has small inclusions that I think are pyrite. They definitely look like pyrite, and I know for sure that pyrite can be an inclusion in turquoise. So I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I think they're extra special, but they're not very noticeable in person. You kind of have to look super closely. So let me show you here. It's a great size for a ring, in my opinion. And you can kind of see here that those pyrite inclusions really don't stand out. They don't pop at you. You'd probably want to look at them under a loop, or you can see them with a macro lens like mine. This is a phenomenal color. And as we go through some of the other turquoise stones today, I'll compare this one to those so that you can see just how great of a color this really is. Let's take a look at another clip. So if let's say you buy this, if you get this stone in and you're not totally in love with it, fret not. You can return it for a full refund. This stone, like most of the turquoise stones I'll be showing today, is stabilized, meaning it's been treated to improve durability and stability of color. That's something I go into greater detail in my video of turquoise at the Tucson Gem Shows. But just know stabilization is a very common treatment, and most customers prefer turquoise to be stabilized because if it's not stabilized, it might change color. The color is natural, so it's not like the stabilization made it blue. It was already blue, and none of the stones that we're looking at today have been dyed. Let's take a look at the chat. Let's see if you guys have any guesses for the trivia question. Mason K is here. Hello, Mason K. Welcome. So glad to have you in the chat. Norman says, all is good. Glad to be here. Norman, I'm glad you're here. This is awesome. Mason K agrees that it's wicked cool. I've been listening to Chris's live streams. Do you guys watch the Chris the Jade Lady live streams on the Mason K Instagram? And I'll listen to it. I think she's brainwashing me a little bit because she'll be like, this is wicked cool, wicked cool. And so I've been saying it constantly, and Hunter keeps laughing at me because I'm just I just sound like Chris now, I guess. So Chris is very quotable, by the way. If you watch her live show, she says such quotable things. Hunter always like you have to watch her to get it, but he's always like walking around like saying I know, because when she says I know, she says I know, and it's really funny. So, the trivia question, turquoise is a secondary mineral of. Let's go ahead and reveal that. So, turquoise is a secondary mineral of copper, and I'm putting that chemical composition for turquoise up on the screen here. So, turquoise forms in copper deposits where groundwater alters the copper sulfides and releases copper ions. These copper ions then combine with aluminum and phosphate in the surrounding rock to form turquoise. So, malachite, azurite, chrysocolla, all of those are also secondary minerals of copper. Let me show you this stone. This stone would be great in a ring as well. I bet you're wondering why I have these. So let me tell you why I have these. I collected a bunch of these stones when I was visiting wholesale dealers in Tucson this year so that I could make a video for the channel. And I did. And it's a pretty good video and it's getting a lot of views. But now I have all of these turquoise stones and I really need to do something with them. So, so I have listed them on my website and they are for sale. So if you were wondering, that's why I have a whole bunch of turquoise. So you can see why this stone is so affordable. It wasn't strong enough to be set in jewelry on its own. So that's the reason that it's been backed. There are some dry spots where you can see a lot of matrix on the edges of the stone, which won't be noticeable once it's mounted, but it gives you an idea of why they backed it. I just thought this stone looked gorgeous from the top, and I'm kind of a sucker for pear cut turquoise. It's a great price. Let me also show you like just a color comparison just to kind of give you an idea. So this is that Egyptian stone that's really nice, and this is the backed one that we were just looking at. Can you see the color difference? Like this is so much bluer. This is so much more desirable. So you can kind of see where like color affects pricing when it comes to turquoise. So I have a poll for you guys. Let's see. Do you prefer your turquoise with or without matrix? Let me show you another piece that I have. So I actually have two of these, but they're not technically a matched pair. They're just like really close. This is the larger one. It has a tiny inclusion on the bottom that won't be noticeable once it's set. This is not the best color of turquoise. It's kind of like what we were talking about just now. It's very pretty in person and it's very affordable. Sometimes I think people assume that if a stone is without matrix, that it's a higher quality than it is. So some people might look at this and say, oh, that's Sleeping Beauty, which it's not. Or they might look at it and say, oh, well, that's robin egg blue or robin's egg blue. And personally, I would not describe this color as robin's egg blue. So this is not an ideal color, but it seems better because there's no matrix. If you are interested in purchasing this genuine turquoise stone, it is stabilized. It's from the Supernova mine in Nevada, and it measures 12.5 by 9 millimeter. And then let me show it to you up close. This will kind of give you a good idea of like the size too in person. If you wanted to set it in a ring, I think this is a great size for a ring. So what do you guys think? Do you prefer your turquoise to have matrix or to not have matrix? I mean, there's no wrong answer. Go ahead and let me know in the chat. This is the same stone. This is not the match. This is the same one we were just looking at. So you can see the inclusion on the bottom pretty well in this clip. Your local jeweler could set this for you in a custom mounting, or I'm happy to recommend a jeweler if you don't already have one. Personally, I would set this in gold. Like, this is my hot take. I don't think people are going to agree with this. I believe that turquoise belongs in 18 karat gold and above. I know, I'm not a fan of turquoise and silver at all. This was the most revered material in Persia for like most of their history. This is a stone of royalty, and it was one of the most treasured gems of the ancient world. Turquoise and jade were considered the two most important gemstones to many Mesoamerican cultures, and they both had incredible significance in ancient China as well. This stone might be affordable, but let me tell you, it is not cheap. Like, I don't think it should be cheapened by inferior materials and craftsmanship. Like, I personally believe that it should be set in heirloom quality mountings. But you don't have to listen to me. You're an adult, I'm assuming. You have money. You can do whatever you want. You can set this in anything. You can set this in silver. You can set it in gold. You can just keep it unmounted. That's fine with me. So here they are side by side. I was gonna try and show them both on screen at the same time, but then I couldn't. I couldn't quite hold them without dropping them. It's a whole thing. So if you're thinking, Jordan, I don't see the difference. Yeah, I know. I don't blame you. The stone we just looked at is on the left. That's the 12.5 by 9. The stone we're about to look at on the right is 11 by 7.5. So here's that 11 by 7.5. So this, just so everybody's clear, this is the second pear stone. It's not the one we were looking at before, but it looks really similar. It's 1 millimeter shorter in length and 1.5 millimeters shorter in width. So you, like, technically could make earrings with these, but I wouldn't. I was a CAD designer for a store for 7 years, and if you were my customer, I wouldn't let you do that. Which is why I'm selling them separately instead of as a set. So the proportions on this one they're just a little bit different than that other stone. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chat. Did you guys tell me if you like your turquoise with or without matrix? Oh, Dake has a fantastic question. Why is it that some gemstones are okay to be treated and some are not? It just depends on the stone and also the treatment. So, for instance, in sapphire, there are some treatments that are more desirable than others. And while a good majority of sapphire on the market has been treated like in some way, typically it's important to warn customers about certain sapphire treatments. In the case of jade, treatment for jade is particularly bad because jadeite jade is so tough and so durable. And if they've treated it, then it already started out as really, really low quality material. And then the treatment process makes it less durable and makes it less stable. In the case of turquoise, it's the opposite, where you're starting with a material that is not durable. Like, it's not very common for you to be able to just like pull turquoise out of the ground and cut it and be able to wear it and not have any problems with it. It it needs to be stabilized because turquoise is chalky. Like, jade is really, really tough. It's extremely, like, resistant to breaking. It's resistant to scratching. Like, it has a lot of great attributes. But turquoise is kind of chalky, and it's kind of granular in a way where, like, if you were to like start, like scratching it and rubbing against it, like, little pieces of it are going to fall off. So, it's just better if it's stabilized. That was hard for me to wrap my brain around because with jade, you want to avoid treatment at all costs. But there are just other stones that have to be treated. I think blue topaz, I think all blue topaz is treated to get the color. I think a lot of it's irradiated too. Like, all tanzanite pretty much is treated. So it just depends on the stone. Do your research, trust your local jeweler, and don't be afraid to ask questions when it comes to treatments. A seller should always disclose the treatment no matter what. Even if the treatment's good for it, they should still disclose it. Norman is a sucker, he says. He likes both, with matrix and without matrix. I totally get that. I totally get that. Dake says some material might be too brittle to work with without treatment, and they probably fall apart before you can make them into jewelry. Yeah, or after, and then the customer gets it and it falls apart a couple days later, and no seller wants that. Oh my gosh, that's like a seller's nightmare. I think for some reason people get this idea that the jewelry industry is trying to pull something over on people. I work with tons of jewelers. Their biggest nightmare is that piece not lasting for like 3 generations. If it's anything less than like your grandkid or great grandkid is going to be able to wear this ring, like, they're devastated. So there's a lot of just really trustworthy, honest people in the jewelry industry that want you to get what you pay for when you buy a piece of jewelry. So did we already look at the inclusion? Did we look really closely at this inclusion? Because it's not super noticeable with the naked eye. And I'm using a macro lens here, and it won't be noticeable once it's set, but I want to make sure that you see it ahead of time. If you want to purchase this stone, You can scan the QR code or visit jotblog.com. There are links in the description below. Oh my goodness, this stone. You guys, I have a crazy story about this stone. Look it. You're not going to believe this. I saw this stone at a trade show 2 years ago. And I thought, wow, this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And I took a picture of it and then I set it back down because I can't just buy everything I love, right? So, fast forward to this year, I went back to that same vendor this year. And like they had trays and trays and trays full of turquoise, just like tons of stones, like on top of each other. And I spotted it and I thought, I will not get a third chance to buy this stone. So I grabbed it. Honestly, I'm not sure if I should call this turquoise. Like it's it's really just matrix with some turquoise in it. And I'm not kidding. Like ratio wise, I don't know. I don't know if this should technically be considered turquoise. I mean, let me put it this way. If the blue parts were jade, we would not call this stone jade because it wouldn't be a high enough percent of jade. So I don't know. I don't know if this is different. I'm not really sure about the turquoise world, but the trade does call this turquoise, and I'm not really sure what else to call it. So this is an affordable stone. I'm not sure how durable it is, but I'd be careful with it. But it's on sale, and it's really cool. Like it looks so cool. So scan the QR code and buy it before it's gone. Put it in a ring, or I don't know. I just think it's cool. Like it's just cool to have. Wear it. Don't wear it. It's just neat. It's a great example of the matrix too, and I don't know, it just looks like cracks in the earth and like magical turquoise is I don't know, bursting through. So I love this shape. Like I love this shape. Stones like this make me love matrix. I don't know if I kind of revealed this to you guys earlier, but matrix is not my favorite. I tend to prefer a clean stone. I tend to not go for stones with matrix. But this one I do really, really love, and I would absolutely personally wear it. So I have another trivia question. What is the hardness of turquoise on the Mohs scale of mineral hardness? This stone is from the Blue Moon Mine in Nevada. This stone is stabilized and it is 16 millimeters in length. You can set it north-south or east-west in a ring, and it's gonna look slap ya mama fantastic either way. It's inexpensive because there's a lot of matrix, and the matrix pattern is brown and varying. Like it's not as attractive of a pattern as say a black spider web, and it's a really light blue. So it's not vivid enough to command a high price, which is nice because it's a really cool stone. So you can get it really affordably. And by golly, I like it. Like I would absolutely wear this stone. So just to kind of compare for education, that Egyptian stone that we looked at the beginning, look, you can already tell. Can you see? Can you see? Can you see the difference? Like, I'm not sure if you can really tell on the camera. This is such a more desirable blue. It's such a deeper blue. This light blue, I think a lot of us, when we imagine turquoise, we think of the light blue, the light kind of greenish blue. But when it's high quality, I mean, it is sky blue or robin's egg blue, which is robin's egg. I don't know if you guys know about this. It's kind of like pigeon's blood, where the trade came up with a term that was supposed to mean, like in the case of pigeon's blood, like the highest quality color in ruby. And in turquoise, robin's egg blue is supposed to be like the highest quality color in turquoise. And then you get a bunch of sellers who want to charge more for what they have. So they just start calling everything pigeon's blood and everything robin's egg blue, and they want to call all jade imperial. And that doesn't always come from a bad place. It's just it muddies the waters and it makes the nomenclature a little bit more confusing. So just keep in mind that, like, if a seller is calling turquoise robin's egg blue, that might really mean something. It might not. People, they kind of abuse the terminology a little bit. Wow, there's a lot going on in the chat. So Dake says that without matrix, turquoise is it kind of looks like nephrite jade. Like you could carve it. You mean like it looks like a carving stone as opposed to like a really fine quality gem jewelry item? I can see that for sure. It does look like earth. Okay, are you talking about my round one? The one that I found like 2 years later, which was crazy, by the way. You know how many vendors are in Tucson? You know how many stones are in Tucson? Still can't believe I found this 2 years after I first saw it. And then Jake put a little earth, little earth emoji. Does treatment improve hardness of turquoise? I don't know. That's a great question. I don't think so. But it might even depend. So I'm being very general too when I'm referring to stabilization in turquoise. There are varying types of stabilization treatment that are what's it called when you have like a patent on it? It's whatever. They have a patent on it. And so some of the details of these treatments can be kind of secretive and they can be varying so you can have better treatments than others and stuff like that. As far as I know, turquoise does not tend to have a very like good hardness. Like it's okay, but I don't think you have like a really drastic range where if it's been treated a certain way, then it's a much better hardness. I think it's always kind of like a handle with care type of situation. So let's take a closer look at this one. I just think this is such a special stone because of the shape and the matrix. I was actually watching Jurassic Park this weekend, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but the mathematician with the glasses, he wears turquoise throughout the whole movie. Like he has a ring and he wears a pendant. And it reminded me of something that Emily Otteson said when she came on my podcast a few years ago. She said, turquoise is the most common gemstone seen in American media. And I said, no, that can't be true. Like, that's probably not right. She said, no, you're going to see more turquoise than diamonds, like in movies and commercials and TV shows. She said, start looking for it. And that was years ago. And I have. And I can tell you undoubtedly, like without a shadow of a doubt, she was right. That is totally true. Like turquoise is the most common stone that you'll see in American made movies, TV shows, and commercials. And if you start looking for it, you're going to see it too. Like it is very, very commonly on like television. So we'll come around to the hardness in a minute, but I want to see if you guys have a good guess for what chemical causes turquoise to be green or to be more green than blue or like a more greenish blue because it can kind of vary. Turquoise can be green or blue. We normally think of it as blue, but you have this like intermediary color too. So, what is the chemical that causes it to be more green? So, my best turquoise video is actually not my most popular one on this channel. My best turquoise video is of turquoise at the Tucson Gem Shows, where I interviewed a number of experts. It's very information dense, which I think is why it hasn't really caught fire in the algorithm. But if you're into all this, especially the technical information, I absolutely think you should check it out. So this is Royston turquoise. Royston does not always look like this. This stone is green. It's stabilized. It's 16 millimeters in length. It's a really cool stone. I kind of don't want to let it go. So if you don't buy it, it will not hurt my feelings. Let's go ahead and let's see. Oh, we have some guesses on the hardness of turquoise. I feel like these are not guesses. I feel like you guys just know the answer. So the hardness of turquoise is 5 to 6 on the Mohs scale. That's out of 10. So it's not like the best, but it's really it's fine. Like it's fine for pendants and earrings, especially. Honestly, here's something I don't quite understand. I have known so many people because remember, I worked in a jewelry store, so I had customers that wore jewelry every day. I have known so many people that wear their turquoise ring every single day and it doesn't scratch. And they'll wear it for years and years and years and they'll pass it down. And so like academically, I know it is a 5 to 6. I know you have to be careful with it. Like I know jewelers have to be careful with it when they're setting it. Like they don't want to like scratch it with a steel tool. But I feel like I never see scratched abraded turquoise. I know it's out there. I know it's a thing. I don't know if people are just taking really good care of their turquoise. I have no idea, but it is a 5 to 6. That's not super ideal, but it's also not bad. Like a nephrite's around there, and people wear nephrite every day. I wear nephrite almost every day. So, it they say if it's below quartz, that's where you're most likely to scratch it because quartz is about a 7 and there's quartz dust around and it can get on your stone and then if you rub it, it'll scratch and it'll create these micro abrasions. But for the most part, a lot of people are wearing gemstones that are a 5 or 6 on the scale of hardness, and they're doing fine. So I'm not that worried about it. I say be careful, but it's clearly not that big of a deal. So as for what causes the color to be green, oh my gosh, Norman, that is the word I was trying to think of. Proprietary. When I was talking about stabilization and I said, oh, it's like where you have a patent for it. Yeah, a lot of the stabilization techniques are proprietary. Great job. Good word. Y'all are paying attention. Anyways, the answer is iron. Iron causes turquoise to be more green than blue. Okay, so this one. I almost didn't list this stone for sale either. I really like turquoise, but I'm willing to let it go as long as it goes to a good home. So this is Persian turquoise. Turquoise is valued based on its color and quality, but customer perception does play a part in value. It is widely believed that Persian turquoise is the best quality turquoise, which isn't necessarily always true because Iran can produce a range from low to high quality, just like Nevada, just like Arizona. But it might be true that the very best top quality turquoise on the market today is from Iran. Like, I can't say for sure. Iran and Sleeping Beauty are definitely up there and have been known to produce exceptionally high qualities of turquoise. So has Nevada, by the way. This is not exceptionally high, but it's obviously not bad. This is special for a couple of reasons. One, it's Persian. Two, it's natural. There's no stabilization in this stone. And it really is, it's a beautiful stone. You can see why I didn't want to let it go. But I will. I don't want to, but I will. Because I can't just have gemstones all over my house, guys. I need to sell some of these so that I can make some more videos. So, God, I just love it. I just think it's gorgeous. So, anyways, if you ever wondered about Persian turquoise, this is an example of a lower quality of Persian turquoise that is affordable and attainable and really, really pretty. Let's go ahead and move on. Oh, these. So these two pair cut stones are actually being sold as a pair. So they, unlike the other two that matched that were also pair cuts, which were sold separately, these are sold together. These are sold as a pair. They match, I swear. And there are additional photos on the website if you want to just stare at them without them moving. I got you. Scan the QR code. Just to clarify, this is $99 for the pair. So it's $99 for both of them, not each of them. This one has a really cool inclusion going across the shoulder. It's not very noticeable with the naked eye. It's definitely a lot more noticeable under a macro lens. I don't know if you would technically call this matrix because there's not a lot of it, but it is the same. It's the same stuff as matrix. This pair is from the Dyer Mine in Nevada from wholesale supplier Out of Our Mines, who you saw in my Tucson turquoise video at the AGTA show. They have been featured in GIA's world famous publication Gems and Gemology and are significant producers of American turquoise. A lot of turquoise in jewelry stores actually comes from them, especially stores that are members of AGTA. So a lot of Mason K's retail partners are members of AGTA too. It tends to be a sign of a good jewelry store. So this is the match. There is a difference. You can see the tiny inclusion on top, but in person, I mean, they look great together. Like, you can tell these are products of nature. They're not a synthetic material made to match perfectly, but the color, cut, and size are very close. These would be great in a Toi et Moi ring. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm quoting Chris the Jade Lady again. She's so funny. Anytime she says Toi et Moi, she's like Toi et Moi. Like, she's very dramatic about it. And in my head, that's how I hear the word. So anyways, a Toi et Moi ring is when you have two gemstones instead of like one center stone. You could turn these into a pair of earrings. Any jewelry item where you need a matching pair of pairs, these are a real match. These are a good match. Yeah. Okay. I have another pair. I have not pair shape. I have another pair, as in two. I have another pair of two matching. So I thought I thought about making a trivia question that said, for which month is turquoise a birthstone? I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I hate birthstones. Like, that's not even a strong enough word. So that's not our trivia question, but if you want to tell me what birthstone month turquoise is, you can. So anyways, I actually made a YouTube short a few years ago. You guys might have seen it where I say like, what is the birthstone for January? And then I say Jade. And then I keep going through all the months and they're all just Jade. And I I didn't fully understand the YouTube algorithm yet. So I named that video The Real Birthstones. Funny thing about YouTube, for a little while, if you typed in real birthstones into a YouTube search, mine was the top short. So people got really mad because they wanted to actually know the birthstones when they clicked on the video, and then they clicked it, and it was fake, and it was all about Jade's. And then they left a bunch of hilarious comments like, "This is not true. These are not the birthstones." Anyways, when I need a good laugh, I just go read those comments because it feels like I pranked thousands of people. They all knew that Jade wasn't the birthstone for every month, but they got really upset when that was the video that they accidentally clicked on. Not accepting birthstones is one of my tiny rebellions in this industry. Buy the gemstone that you like. Don't don't buy something because marketing told you to. Yeah, Norman got it right. It is technically a birthstone for December, but I don't think you should let that matter. I think you should buy a stone because you love that stone. And the only thing that matters is how it looks to you. So, this is a really really good blue. This is from the Kingman mine in Arizona, which might be the largest active turquoise mine in the USA. And it's honestly probably the highest producing turquoise mine in the US as well. This stone is super clean. It's one of the nicest stones I've shown. Like it matches the previous pair of rounds almost perfectly, so they're up there too. The Egyptian cab with matrix that I showed at the very beginning is better. I mean, it's pretty darn spectacular. But this is probably the nicest stone that I've shown tonight that doesn't have matrix tied with the round pair. Such a beaut. Let's see, we have somebody in the chat. No, Mason K says anniversaries too. No, no, you you buy the gift that you like. Hold on. I gotta look at you guys when I say this. You cannot let the birthstones tell you what to do. You cannot let the anniversary list tell you what to do. You choose. I literally had customers when I worked in a jewelry store that would be looking at two stones and they would prefer the one that wasn't their birthstone. They'd be like, well, I like this one better. And then they would buy the one that was their birthstone because they felt pressured to. And I hate that. I hate that. I don't like it. This is the biggest stone that I've shown tonight. This is also from the Kingman mine in Arizona. It is stabilized and it measures 22 by 15 millimeters. Some people would say this is too big for a ring. And I would strongly, strongly disagree with those people. If this were mine, I would absolutely set it in a ring. So this is on sale for only $250. This stone can be yours if you scan the QR code or visit jottblog.com. Look at that. That's absolutely a stone for a ring. Like, I could go bigger. I'm not even going to lie. That's a fantastic size for a ring. But if not everybody's like me, you might think it's better for a pendant, and that's okay. So I guess let me show you like a color comparison. So this is a larger stone than the Egyptian one that we looked at the beginning. Whoop, there we go. This is the Egyptian one from the beginning. See how it's a darker blue? This is still a better color. This is a nice stone. This is a good color. Here. You'll see how nice this color is. Look. Look how much nicer this is. So it's a nice stone. It's a nice color. It's a large size. It's just not as nice of a color as this. It gets real nuancy with turquoise because of the opacity too. And I think a lot of people haven't seen enough turquoise. Like they haven't seen enough comparisons of turquoise side by side to really get a feel for like the color quality value connection. Look at that. That is a great size. So anyways, that's my take on that stone. If you have photos of turquoise in your personal collection that you would like to share, I encourage you to join the JOTT Discord. The link is in the video description. We have a channel dedicated exclusively to turquoise called Turquoise Talk, where people share images and discuss turquoise related topics. Some quick news on the Jade front. You may have heard that Mason K has announced they are adding the umbrella term fei choi to their Jade identification reports. This is a decision they made following similar announcements from GIA and Lotus Gemology, and it's a very exciting development in the industry as this will help reduce customer concerns surrounding omphacite, which is chemically very similar to jadeite and intermixes with jadeite in jade stones. Because of labs choosing to embrace an umbrella term for jadeite, omphacite, and cosmochlor, customers don't have to be afraid of getting an omphacite report from a lab, as this further demonstrates that there is no difference in value just because there's a higher omphacite content alone. The value of a jade stone is determined by its quality and value factors: color, translucency, texture, size, and cut. So, just a couple of things about the Discord. The whole fei choi thing is something that we discuss in the Discord. Turquoise is something that we can discuss in the Discord. We have a lot of fun there, you guys. People share photos of their collections. We share information. We had some people recently sharing great photos of Clear Creek jadeite, which is awesome. And so those have been added to the forum because we do have like a repository that is topical, where you can have like photos and research and information about like jade by origin or jade by color. So it's really, really helpful for somebody who's like just getting into jade and wanting to make a purchase. A lot of the videos on this channel are jade focused, but as you saw tonight, we explore other gemstones as well. So I encourage you to bring your gemstone collection to the Discord. We'll probably be having like a Discord kind of meet and greet show and tell soon, where we'll do like a video call where people can kind of talk to each other. So make sure that you've joined for that because it's going to be a lot of fun.